King of my kingdom. Oh no, not another ritual, not another invocation intended to make the invisible forces manifest in the visible world. What has that got to do with the world we live in today? Graduates leave university and can't find a job, or people reach retirement and have almost nothing to live on. Grown-ups have no time to dream, struggling from 9 to 5 to support their families and pay for their children's education, always bumping up against the thing we all know as harsh reality. The world has never been as divided as it is now. What what with religious wars, genocides, and lack of respect for the planet, economic crisis, depression, poverty, with everyone waiting instant solutions to at least some of the worst problems of their own. And things look only bleaker as we head into the future. What am I doing here, trying to make my way in a spiritual tradition whose roots are in the remote past, far from all the challenges of the present moment, along with Jay, whom I call my master, although I am beginning to have doubts about that. I am walking toward the sacred oak tree, which for me that 500 years has stood there, impassively contemplating humanity's woes, and in one concern being to surrender its leaves in winter and recover them in spring. I cannot stand to write any more about relationships with the jay, my god in the tradition. I have dozens of diaries full of notes of our conversations, which I never bothered to reread. Since our first meeting in Amsterdam was in 1982, I have learned that, unlearned, how to live hundreds of times. Whenever Jay teaches me something new, I think that perhaps this will be the last step required to reach the top of the mountain. The note that's justifies the whole symphony, the world, the word that sums up the entire book. I go through a period of euphoria which gradually dissipates. Some things stay forever, but most of the exercises, practices, and teachings end up disappearing down a black hole, or so it seems. The ground is wet. It occurs to me that my sneakers, meticulously washed 2 days before, will soon be covered in mud again, however carefully I tread. My search for wisdom, peace of mind, and awareness for realities visible and invisible has become routine and pointless. I began my appren what the hell is that word? Appren apprenticeship. Screw it. In magic when I was 22. I followed various paths, walked along the very edge of the abyss. For many years, slipped and fell, gave up and started all over again. I imagined that by the time I reached the age of 59, I would be close to paradise and to the absolute peace I thought I could see in the smiles of the Buddhist monks. In fact, I seem to be further from achieving that, but ever. Good point. I am not at peace now. Then I go through periods of inner conflict that can persist for months, and the times when I immerse myself in some magical reality last only seconds, just long enough to know that another world exists, and long enough to leave me frustrated because I can't not absorb everything I learn. We arrive. When the ritual is over, I'll have a serious talk with him. We both place our hands on the trunk of the sacred oak. G says, Sufi prayer, Sufism. Oh God, when I listen to the voices of animals, the sounds of trees, the murmurings of water, the singing of birds, the whistling of the wind, or the boom of thunder, I see in them evidence of your unity. I feel that you are supreme power, omniscience, supreme knowledge, and supreme justice. I recognize you, O God, in in the trials I am going through. May your pleasure be my pleasure too. May I be your joy, the joy that a father feels for a son, and may I think for you calmly and with the determination, even when I find it hard to say I love you. Usually at this point I would feel for only a fraction of a second, but that's always enough. The one presence that moves the sun and the earth and ensures that the stars remain in their places. But I don't feel like talking to the universe today. I just want the man at my side to give me the answers I need. He removes his hand from the tree trunk, and I do the same. He smiles at me, and I return his smile. We make our way in silence, unhurriedly back to my house, while we sit on the veranda and drink coffee still without talking. I look at the huge tree in the middle of the garden with a ribbon tied around its trunk. Okay, I'll stop reading. That's all you get.